Hello. So I want to apologize to all of you who have been asking about yesterday's devotional. And it really has been more people than I thought. I mean, people actually listen to me talk, and that is a very humbling thing to have people that care what I have to say. And so thank you all for asking if you had missed or weren't able to get yesterday's devotional. I did not do one. And I did not do one simply because I am writing what I believe to be a very important sermon on racism and what is happening in our country. And I'm spending a lot of time on it. And so yesterday, it just didn't happen. And I'm so sorry. And I just want to thank you all for the grace that you have extended me in this time, as I know all of us are just constantly pivoting and trying to adjust. And then once we feel like we get a routine down, then we pivot again and we have to adapt again. And then it takes us a while to get the routine down, and then so on and so forth. And so I am not the only person that is doing that. I know that, but every week when there are changes that come, it just sadly takes me longer to do the things, my ministry workload. So thank you for the grace. Tonight's devotion has been inspired by all of the people that I have been with and spent time with. And for a day where I spent like 6 hours writing my sermon by myself, also had a lot of time with people. So I went on a walk with one of my MOPS friends, Brenna, and I had coffee with my dear friend Melissa, and I got to see my friends Bob and Jennifer and Lindsay at our educational meeting tonight at church, and Jenny and Lauren, my pals, that were on Zoom. And then I just got to spend some time chatting on the phone, like video recording calls with my college roommates. And so it really was a great day of relationships. And Bob Emmerd brought up just something that really makes me want to cry happy tears, just like the greatest thing, which was just how much he has loved the phone tree calls that he has made every week. So you guys, I know I have talked about this in our nightly devotionals, but I would not have been able to get through this pandemic without my 12 phone tree leaders. Would not have been able to do it. I care so deeply about our congregation, so deeply, and I do not have the bandwidth to make 120 phone calls a week. And so having my leaders, my lay leaders, giving these calls and taking it seriously, I just want to like cry just thinking about it. And Bob was saying tonight at the education meeting, like, I said yes to doing it just because I just said yes because you asked. But then he said, these people that I've known for years and years, I now have known on such a deeper level, to where we were just friends that saw each other at church, to where we actually know each other and share our lives on the phone with each other. And I mean, if that is not the most amazing thing to come out of this global pandemic, I don't know what is, because I have heard from everyone on various levels and for various reasons that in the midst of physically isolating ourselves, we have so chosen friendships and relationships and love, and just to be real and open ourselves up to each other in a way that is just incredible. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is just friendships. And I I want to talk about spiritual friendships, because I believe that having good friends in our life is a part of our spirituality and our faith journey. And whether you are single or married or widowed or whatever, you have, a house full of kids, we all need at least just one good friend. And that is my prayer for just everyone in the world, to have just one good friend and ally. And so the scriptures that are always my favorites about friendship are Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother or sister is born out of adversity. So I just think that that is the token verse, Proverbs 17:17, of the silver lining of this pandemic, is that we have had friendships and siblings in Christ that we have made or enhanced or cultivated during adversity, during this time. And then the other is obviously Romans 15:7. Accept one another, then just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. And so when I think about friendships and what it looks like to have good relationships, I actually think about Donald Miller, who wrote this book, Scary Close, Dropping the Act and Finding True Intimacy. And he talks about all of his relationships in this book, not just his relationship with his wife, but his relationship just with his friends and with coworkers and colleagues. And the thing that I love about the book is that we have so much of our own junk, perfectionism, shame, manipulation, and all these things that we have just been taught and kind of acquired from like major and minor traumas in our life, that we put up this act and this mask. And in Scary Close, there are just so many, it's a memoir of how he has found true intimacy of relationships in his life, and how the friendships that he has now are so deeply meaningful. And I think it goes along with this verse, is that he accepts and loves himself now. He's done the work to kind of work on his own junk, and because of that, he is able to put himself out there enough to where other people can accept and love the real him. Donald Miller in his book has this one particular excerpt that I just think is so funny. He was at a retreat, like a men's retreat, and there was this guy at the retreat he calls like Karate Mike or something. And again, the guy was just like really macho and just trying to one up everyone, and kept turning to Donald Miller in the men's retreat. And he was like, I don't know about all this sensitivity stuff. And they were all rooming together. They were all in like a cabin. And one of the guys actually got real and, dropped all the walls and the act and the stoicism, and was like, I'm just really having a hard time. I'm getting divorced and it's just really hard. And Donald Miller looked over at the Karate Mike guy, and he just was kind of like nothing, not showing any emotion. And so walking back to the cabin, the author is like, this guy he's just the worst. And then all of a sudden, Donald Miller looks over at this Karate Mike's bed, and he sees a stuffed animal strategically trying to be hidden under his pillow. But this guy who was trying so hard to be so tough and so macho and put up this whole like fake persona sleeps, grown man, with a stuffed animal. And the thing about it is that made Donald Miller not only like really want to get to know this guy more, but that was the most endearing, best thing about him. And it made him want to give this guy a second chance. So you see, guys, when we, guys, gals, peeps, when we put those walls up because we believe this lie that we are not worthy to be loved, and we don't work on doing the work of healing and loving ourselves as a beloved child of God, then we're going to show people kind of the fake us. And then when we do develop friendships, they're really just acquaintances, because we're putting on an act, and we're all guilty of doing it. But what I loved when I was talking to Bob tonight, was just I could just sense the realness and the rawness and the authenticity in the conversations that he is having with people that he has known in more limited ways over the phone through this time. And so I love it because, for me, the best moments in my life with people and in my friendships are when I am not trying to make myself seem smart or cool or funny, but I'm just being me. I'm just being honest. Those are those moments that you just never forget. And the last scripture that I want to share about friendship, and specifically spiritual friendship, is as iron sharpens iron, so we sharpen one another. Proverbs 27:17. And that is just always my prayer for the friendships and the relationships that I create and cultivate. There's that saying that you are the summation of the 5 people you spend the majority of your time around. So the 5 people that you spend the most time with, you are the summation of. And so when you think about friendships and relationships sharpening each other, refining each other, making each other better, that's what I want. So I'm looking for in my friends and in my mentors. That's what I looked for in my spouse, and I found. So as we develop these relationships, as we maybe kind of renew and rejuvenate the existing relationships we had before this, but we have more time, we have ability to go deeper in our relationships. One, choose people and relationships over just that busyness that we all did before this pandemic. May we have more quality time with loved ones, even as things start to get back to normal more and more. May we have more quality time with loved ones than that reality of just running around, doing all these tasks, being so busy, filling our calendars chock full. I don't want to go back to that. So that's the first thing I want to say. And 2, love yourself. Love yourself. Love all the quirks about you. If you sleep with a stuffed animal, own it. If you cry at Hallmark movies, share that with somebody who's safe. The truth is, people are going to love you more for those things than the facade that you're putting up. And then the last thing is, look for the people and the relationships that make you better, that make you more compassionate, that make you more patient, the people and the relationships that inspire you, that kind of help you with your dream and your vision for what you want to do as a disciple of Christ, because it's a lifelong journey. And so those are my thoughts tonight as I think about all of the friendships I have had. I got to talk on the phone with just a beloved friend and former congregant, Diane Peck, today. And it was just so wonderful to get to just chat with her and just catch up on life. And the people that mean the most to you, no matter how long it's been, you just kind of pick up where you left off whenever you're on the phone or in person. And I just love that so much. So choose the relationships, loved ones. Choose love, and choose authenticity. Choose to show up in your real, true, authentic self. And remember that you are worth it. You are worth having wonderful, deep, meaningful relationships because you, child of God, child of the covenant, are worth it. So I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.